Ah. Hey everybody, it's Judy Klock here at Stampin' with Crafty Klock. Had a little bit of a technical issue, but I think we've got it resolved. Please let me know if there is a terrible echo again today. I sometimes can't tell if there is an echo. I try to get it set up so that there's no echo, but sometimes my best efforts don't pay off. Okay, so I'm using StreamYard, which is it's like a third-party platform for doing live streaming because I can stream both to YouTube and Facebook at the same time. So if you're here, be sure to authorize StreamYard so that if you make a comment, I can see who actually made it. So hello, thanks for joining me. I'm so happy that you're here. You know that I love to come on and do these tutorials with you because I just love stamping so much and I love the products from Stamping Up. So I'm going to bring up my desk to make that a little bit bigger. There we go. And today we're going to focus on the Hello Harvest bundle and the Rustic Harvest product suite. I'm featuring this bundle and actually the paper and everything in both of my September events, both for my monthly workshop and also for our Stampin' Bingo that I do with my upline, Patty Jean Warren. So if you have the stamp set, you'll get double duty next month if you register for both events. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead. Let me show you some of the pretty designer series paper that we have in this bundle. So this is one of the ones you're going to be working with tonight. And I love it. It's got Cajun Craze and Mary Merlot, Mossy Meadow, Early Espresso, Crushed Curry. So those are and of course black. These are the predominant colors in this set. So I love it that we have some simple designs, always the black and white. I just love the black and white designs. Okay, these are just some of the papers. As you can see, I've been definitely working with it and playing with it. So hopefully I've got some designs worked out. And I think, is that all of them? That's 5. I'm missing, oh, here's the other one. So, and this is just some of the, again, just that plain black and white. That's so gorgeous. You could do so much with that because the black and white is good at any time of year, not just for harvest or fall, but, you know, birthdays and anniversaries and Valentine's Day and just so many wonderful holidays you can do with just black and white. So, and then it comes with the bundles and it's got the stamps and it's got, obviously it will cut out the pumpkin. It will cut out the floral arrangement. It will cut out the leaves and this little sunflower. We've got a couple of sentiments. This one will actually cut out one of the sentiments, wishing you a loveliest day, like a little banner there. So there, and then these you can layer up to make a pumpkin. How fun is that? It does the embossing and the cutting, and then you just layer them up on top of each other, and there you have a really pretty pumpkin. Let me see if I can bring that up a little higher. And you can see some of the detail work on that pumpkin. So these are just some of the ones that come with this Hello Harvest bundle. All right, so today, as usual, we're going to do a simple stamping card, and then we're going to do something a little bit more stepped up. This is also part of the bundle. It's the craft leaves and then the amber gems, and we're actually going to be creating a card with these today. And what I love about the craft leaves is that you can color them. You can stamp on them, you can color them. So we're going to actually work with coloring these. Now, I did have to color these ahead of time because I wanted to make sure they would be dry for this demo. So those were colored. I'll do one and I'll show you how we do them. So this is our first card. Again, very simple stamping. This is just letting that beautiful designer series paper with those gorgeous chrysanthemums really just carry the whole card. We have a little tiny label down here. Now, again, a beginner stamper may not have the die cuts. So you could just cut a piece of white cardstock, square it off on your paper trimmer, and there you've got your little label. And then we're going to come up and we're going to work with those beautiful leaves and we're going to color them okay, with different colors of our ink pad, and we're going to just kind of layer them on there to create another card. And we're going to color our white seam binding with our Stampin' blends to get the color that we want. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. So this one, again, simple stamping. I've got a piece of our Mossy Meadow. It is 4 1/4 by 11. I've scored it at 5 1/2. For the inside, I have a piece of basic white that's 4 by 5 1/4. And I've taken a piece of, this was a piece I trimmed off of our designer series paper. And I'm just going to go ahead and add that to the inside piece to add, to dress that up a little bit. Then we've got a piece of our Mary Merlot that is 4 by 5 1/4. And a piece of our beautiful designer series paper that is 3 3/4 by 5. And we're just going to layer that all up. And of course, I have my little label here that I did die cut with our stylish labels. I'm sorry, stylish shapes dies. This is a new set in the 2022-2023 annual catalog. And if you don't have those, you can just cut. This is about 2 1/4 by 1 inch. So if you don't have a die cutting machine, beginners, 1 inch by 2 1/4 inches. Hey, Patricia and Stacy, thank you for joining me. Isn't that flowered paper gorgeous? It's just so pretty. It's just, it's stunning. And I love it when you can really have the paper do all of the hard work on the card because, you know, I say work smarter, not harder. All right, so we're going to add that little tiny piece of paper there. Then I'm just going to go ahead and add some Stampin' Seal. And we're going to just add that to the inside of our card. Again, I always like to add a piece of basic white to the inside of the card. It's not necessary, but I think that it just dresses up the card and makes it look more finished. That's just my opinion, but you can do whatever you want. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to layer up our outside. And again, I'm just taking my Stampin' Seal. This is Stampin' Seal Plus. I prefer this over the regular Stampin' Seal. Again, just my personal preference. Some people like liquid glue, and I do like liquid glue sometimes because it does give you a little bit of more time to play with things. And if you make a mistake, you can sort of wiggle it around and get it right. And then I'm going to layer my designer series paper right on top of my Mary Merlot. Okay, and again, I always just kind of like to eyeball it before I push it down. Okay. And now we're going to take our little label. And again, these are our red rubber cling stamps. They're not photopolymers. They have their own built-in cushion, so I don't need my Stampin' Pierce mat. And I am just going to stamp a little hello right on here. Okay. That's all we're doing for that. We're going to go ahead and we are going to pop this on with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Put that down there. Okay, let's add some gems because who doesn't like a little bling on things? I sure do. And we'll put one maybe up there. Okay. And that is our simple stamping card. It honestly doesn't get much simpler than this. Yes, Mary Merlot is a very rich color, Lori. I like it so much. All right, so that is our first simple stamping card. Now for our next card, I really wanted to use these craft leaves. Okay, now you can use them as is, you can stamp on them, or you can color them. So I am just going to take a complete leaf and I am just going to put it right down on top of my ink pad. Now, I just want to make sure I push it in there. I want to get all of the color on there. Right? Okay. That little tip might not have any on there. We have to make that back. but that's pretty good. That's looking pretty good, right? I can always go back and I can hit those little tips, or those might be hidden, but I am just going to move this off to the side. That needs to dry. So you can understand why I kind of did these ahead of time, because I didn't want to spend our whole time waiting for those leaves to dry. But for our next card, we have a piece of crumb cake. Again, 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4 1/4. For my inside, I have a piece of our basic white, 4 by 5 1/4. I have a piece of basic black for the outside that is 4 by 5 1/4. Then I took one piece of designer series paper. I cut it to 5 by 3 3/4, and then I cut it into two pieces, a 3-inch piece and a 2-inch piece. So all I did was take the same piece, and I'm just going to use the reverse side. And that's what I love about our designer series paper, is that you can actually use both sides in your design. And then we've got our leaves that we've colored. Now, you'll notice all of these leaves have a hole in them, which was somewhat challenging. I wish they didn't all have the hole in them, but I guess they did that because you can use these to make tags. But I was able to layer them on here in such a way that we've hidden that hole. So we're not going to worry about that hole, okay? And then I have a piece of basic white. Somewhere I had a piece of basic white where I could stamp on our sentiment. And I was going to cut that out. Now, to save time, I did already cut one out, but I was going to just stamp one on, and I'll be darned if I can find what I did with that piece of white, basic white that I had. But no, trust me, I'll stamp it on here for now. So you can, oh, there it is. Ah, it's under here. There we go. All right. So let's get our stamping done first. I do want to stamp wishing you the loveliest day. I just think this is so pretty. Okay, so we're going to stamp that. Now we're going to come back and we would take out our matching die. Let me get that out. Take out our matching die, and now we would run this through our stamp cut and emboss machine. Okay, and when we're done, it would cut it out just like this. So I love it when we have these beautiful little labels that you can just cut out. Now, if you don't want to use this sentiment, you could still cut the shape out of whatever color cardstock and stamp whatever sentiment you want on the middle. So even though this does match a particular stamp, you can still use it for anything you want. You don't have to use it just with that particular stamp. All right, let's go ahead and get our card started. Again, I'm not going to stamp anything on the inside of this one. If I had another piece of little scrap piece of that designer series paper, I would use it and put it inside, but I have used all of my scraps because I've been making many cards lately. All right, we're just going to put that in there. And again, I just like the way the basic white looks on the inside. I just think it makes the card look finished. Okay, I'm going to put on our piece of basic black right here. Thank you, Stacy. It is a beautiful color. I love Mary Merlot. That is in the what they call the Regals family. I'm sorry, that's not the Regals. That's in the Neutrals family, along with this crumb cake and the Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy. All right. There we go. Now, I want to layer this up. Okay, now you could do either the large piece with the green and the smaller piece with the black and white, or you could flip it and use the larger piece with the black and white and the smaller piece with the green. I love green, so I'm going to use more green. But again, you have choices. You can use whatever colors you like and however you like it. Right? These are always suggestions. These layouts that I show you, they're just suggestions. You can do what you want with your card because it's your creation. It should always reflect your personality, your tastes, your likes. I don't know how I got a little bit of glue on there, but I did. All right, now I'm going to put the tape on the reverse side. So don't forget, on Sunday, we have our Sunday secret stamping where I reveal the card one hint at a time. The first hint will be posted on my Crafty Klock, Stamping with Crafty Klock Facebook page. And I will also send it out via email to all of my email subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to my email, be sure to get on the list. Okay, if you're watching on YouTube, there'll be a link under the description that you can fill out later. So now I want to go on and I want to put my leaves on here, but I want to make sure that I put them on in such a way that I am covering up those dreaded holes. So I just kind of put them, I'm going to put them all like this, right? We're going to go just like that. Maybe, we'll see. And just get into how you like them. So I'm just going to put them on there like that. Now I've sort of gotten them how I like them. So I'm going to kind of flip them over. Okay, try to keep them pretty much together. And now I'm going to go and add some adhesive. Okay, see, I'm already starting to break it apart. So I might have to go and just do this one at a time. So let's start with our green one. Let's go here. This is the trickiest part. It's just getting these on so that you can like how they are on the card. Now, I'm not really going to push it down yet because I want to make sure that I can hide all of those dreaded holes. Okay. Because that, to me, was the most challenging part. I mean, not that they're dreaded, but I didn't want them all on my card. Okay, let me see if I can get this up. There we go. All right, and that will be how I'm going to put them on there. Now, I wanted to have a little bit of my ribbon. So I'm going to cut off just a little bit, not much, maybe, let's see, maybe like 6 inches, 8 inches. We'll go with 8 inches. Okay, now I'm just going to cut that. Now I have here my Mossy Meadow. I mean, I could certainly do the white. That would be fine. But I wanted to add just another little pop of this color, this green, because I love green. And I'm just going to color my ribbon. Again, I'm using the broad brush end of my Stampin' Blend. And I am just going to run it over the ribbon. And that's what I love about our white ribbons and our Stampin' Blends is you can make, if you have a white ribbon, you can make any color ribbon you want. Okay. Now this doesn't take long to dry at all. We're just going to kind of let that dry. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to the back of my sentiment. And then I'm just going to kind of zigzag this over my sentiment. Okay, a little bit peeking out at each end. Okay, put that there, and then we'll put that there. Okay, so you've got just a little bit of that coming out, and we'll trim that up in a minute. We're going to go ahead and put this on with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And again, I like to put some over the ribbon too to kind of help hold it in place. And then we are just going to stick that kind of right in the middle of our leaves. Okay, and I'm going to, if I can find my scissor, I'm just going to trim this up. I'm going to just kind of cut this on a little bit of an angle. Okay, that didn't really come out as an angle. And then I'm going to trim this just a little bit. Okay, and there we have that. Now we can go ahead and add some more gems, because again, who doesn't like a little bit of sparkle on their cards? And there we have our 2 cards. We have our simple stamping card, where we let our designer series paper do all of the hard work. We just had a little tiny hello stamped on there. And then we came on here and we got a little bit fancier where we took those craft leaves and we dyed them with right in our ink pad. Now this is still a little wet. You can see it's still a little bit wet, but we're going to let that dry. And you could put any colors on there. So I used Mossy Meadow, Mary Merlot, Crushed Curry, and Cajun Craze. You could use Pumpkin Pie. You could use Daffodil Delight. You can use Mango Melody. You can use whatever colors you want. These were just the ones that I had handy. And I know those colors matched with the designer series paper. And that's what I love about Stampin' Up! Too. Thanks, Fran, is that everything is color coordinated from the cardstock to the inks, to the ribbons, to the gems, to the Stampin' Blends, to the designer series paper. Everything is color coordinated. So as long as you pick things that are in those color families, you'll never go wrong. Everything will always work out beautifully. All right. That's it for me. I hope to see you in one of my events next month where we're featuring the beautiful Harvest Hellos. And I will see you all next week. Have a great evening, everyone. Enjoy the weekend that's coming up. I hope you have a wonderful time. Bye now.